Well, hello friends, Rick Bray with the Plick team at Broome Tioga BOCES, and in a previous video we looked at how you can use the appointment slots in Google Calendar to create something like an online sign up for parent-teacher conferences. And I got to thinking, well, what if we don't have access to Google Calendar, or what if it's not what we use? What about Microsoft? Well, the good news is there is an option, and let's take a look. It is called Microsfot Bookings, and what I think is the easiest way to get there is to get to your email online, not as like a program, but as the web browser, because I want to get into the different apps that are there, right? When I click on the little waffle, there's all these different apps, and you may or may not see bookings show up here. You may have to head under more apps, but where I typically find it is here, right? We have on the left-hand side, mail, calendar, people's, contacts, groups, all that kind of stuff. But down here with apps, right? This little apps box, I happen to have it here. And if it didn't show up there, maybe I would have to search for bookings and it would show up, or I'd have to add the app, right? I'd go over here and I would search for bookings and I'd find it. And if it's not available in your district, perhaps you just want to reach out to your IT professionals, your IT team, and see if it's something that they can turn on. But since I have it right here, I'm going to go here. And yours may look a little bit different because I do have some things set up from before. But the very first thing that I notice is there's two different kinds of booking pages. There is a personal booking page, and at the bottom there is a shared booking page. Shared booking is just that. It's where you're going to have more than one person involved in bookings. So since most likely your parent-teacher conferences are just you meeting with the audience, we're going to stick with a personal booking page. And I'm going to either create a meeting type by clicking this button here or over here, and it's going to pretty much walk me through the process. So let's take a look at how to do that. After I click on create a meeting type, the very first thing it wants me to do is title it. And yes, I can totally click on this and change to something different if I want. But yep, you already see I did it, right? I'm going to call this Marking Period 3 Parent Teacher Conference, right? And that's what I'm going to call it. Life is good. Now, let's get that spelling right. Shame on me. This category part, if you are using categories in Microsoft Outlook, you may have them pre-labeled, and so you could put this as a category and it's going to color code your calendar list and all that great stuff. But if you don't, no problem. Here's a little description. It right now says book a time to connect with me. It might be something instead that says like let's go with this. Please select a time to meet regarding your students and marking period 3 progress. Oops, let's take it that be a 3. Great, everything's cool, wonderful. Location, this little Teams meeting thing here, right? Microsoft Teams is the video conferencing tool that Microsoft works with. So I'm going to check this off because I really want it to be an in-person meeting. You may put your actual location here. Instead, I'm just going to write my school room 103, whatever it happens to be. You don't really have to put my school. Conceivably, your parent knows where they're going. And here is where I can select how long I want the meeting to last. I'll keep mine at 30. If it's something customized that you want, you can select this custom and change it to however many minutes you want it to be. But again, 30 minutes works for me. Public, like it says, if I select this option, it will appear on my booking page. Private will not. I'll have to give the people a link, and switching back and forth can be a little bit problematic, so I would recommend going with one, not the other. You can make things private once you're done with them so they don't show up, and we'll take a look. But for right now, I'm going to keep this public. Right? This little amend your signature, I happen to like that, but I'm going to turn it off for right now because depending on your usage, you may not want it. Sort of the last big piece here, because I'm at the bottom of the page, is to schedule when I'm available. Now, the default is always going to be use my regular hours, or we can put custom availability hours. Your regular hours, if you have gone into Outlook and set your regular hours, it's going to automatically limit the meetings to be then unless you use custom availability hours. If you're not sure what your hours are, you can click right here to see what those hours are. And I can say, okay, right, Monday through Friday, I work, I don't know, from 8 until school gets out at 3:30. And I can just set that here and go all the way down. Do I want to show my work? All that stuff's great. But this, I also see that my time zone is wrong here. So I would want to change that if I was using this. But this is where you can get all that done. Let's go back to our booking calendar. I'm going to use some custom hours because conceivably this parent-teacher conference is only going to take place during a certain amount of time. And so I could, if I want to, have it be these times, but that would be for any week. I want to only right here, only have this happen during the following date range. And maybe, for whatever reason, I'm going to say it's April 1st through April 4th. Oh, what the heck? Let's just go 2 weeks, April 11th. And I can set times here. I can see Saturday and Sunday are set to be not bookable. I could change that if I want and make it, but you're probably not doing parent-teacher conferences on a Saturday or Sunday. And maybe that Tuesday is not going to be an option for those days. And we can adjust the times as you need, right? If it's only a half day for the parent-teacher conferences, you can do it from 8 until whatever the end of your school day is, 2:30, or you could do 12 to 2:30, whatever works for you. The advanced options lets you set, like it says here, some buffer time. So it will automatically work that in to your schedule, either before or after, where it will add however much time you want. The minimum lead time and maximum lead time, those aren't critical, but it's just how soon can you book an appointment and how soon before your appointment. That's the lead time. That's the max lead time. Min lead time is like 1 hour. You wouldn't be able to book an appointment within 1 hour is the idea. You'd have to at least give an hour's notice is what that is. You could also set that for like a day or 12 hours if you want, whatever works for you. You can have an email reminder sent to the person a certain amount of time before. You can have multiple sent. So I might say like the day before, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And of course, we'll want to spell forward right because that wouldn't look great if we didn't. And save changes. And again, here's where I can add another email reminder if I wanted to. You can also send a follow-up email, which is pretty darn cool. So everything's set. All I have to do is click save. And we'll see that it shows up right here. Notice that these other events are private, so they won't show up on my booking page, which we'll see in just a second. If I need to make any changes, I can simply click on the service, or I can click the 3 little dots. I guess I can't. It doesn't really let me change things. But if I click it, it pops open right here, and I can go through and make those changes that I need to make at any time and click save. So that's how you can set up a schedule for, in this case, a parent-teacher conference. The next piece is, how do I get this out to the parents? Well, there's a few different ways that you can do it. And the first way is you can send a link out to this entire booking page, and it will show everything that's listed here as public. It will not show the private ones. It will show anything that is public. And I can do that by either clicking on this little share-o, or the safer bet I like is this share. I'm going to copy the link and I'll show you how it behaves. Why am I doing this one? Because when I look to the left, that's for the booking page. It is possible to share just the service, just the one type of meeting. So I'm going to go over here, click share, and say copy my email, copy the link, and I'll go to a new window and we'll see how this behaves, right? So I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to head over. For some people, it may require them to sign in. It may say continue as a guest, right? In this case, I can see that it is just letting me rock and roll. However, when I go in as this account, because this account has never used the page before, it's prompting me to sign in or continue as a guest. Because this is a public thing, I can do either one of these, right? Continue as a guest, the user is just going to have to enter their name and email when it comes up. If you were to be dealing with someone who has like a school-based account and it's a Microsoft 360 account, it will automatically input their email and name for them. It just makes the process a little bit easier. But let's snap back to what the page looks like. So I have all the different meeting types here at the top. Right now, again, there's only one that was visible, right? If I snap back here, these two were private, so they're not currently showing up. Just this one is. If there were more, they would show up and the individual would have to click it so that it selects it. And then all of a sudden my schedule appears, right? And it goes based on what your calendar has on it, which is a nice feature. But moving forward, the person, if they select a day that's not highlighted, right? Like I can't click any of this. And if I click over here to May 2nd, it's saying that there's no times available because we didn't say that's when you could book it. We said here, right? Even here's not working. Just that's when it's available. And these are the times that I have based on the times that I've limited it to. So the person, whoever is filling this out, they click the time that they would like. And then when they say next, here is where, since I'm signed in, it's putting in my name, it's putting in the email address that I'm using to sign in, and we can adjust this later. You can dig into the settings and it might say like, is there something specific you would like to talk about during this time? But in reality, you don't have to put this here for a teacher conference because we know what we're talking about. And when that person says book, it will do this little spinny deal. It will then put a calendar invite on the, let's say, the parent or legal guardian's calendar. It will put a calendar event on your calendar as the teacher, and life is good. You're good to go. And then again, they can manage it if needed, if they need to change it. But that's super cool. That's a way that people don't have to check when you're available in order to see if they can book a time with you. Let me show you another way that this could look. All right, so this is actually my booking page that I use when I'm working with the Plick team. It looks a little bit different, but it still behaves the same way for the way we want it to go. And here is where you can see I have multiple services that people could pick from, and it doesn't show you the availability until you pick one of those options. So maybe someone wants to meet that's in the Union Endicott district and they want to meet in person. It does say here that Tuesdays I'm at AGM and Thursdays I'm at Jenny F, which is just to help them get it. But when you look at the calendar, it's set up to only allow dates on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I try to click a Wednesday, it says not available. But this saves people time. They don't have to ask if I'm available. They can just click on the date they'd like to talk to me, click on the time, and then in this case, because I have it set up a little bit differently, it just asks some questions and it goes. So that's really, really awesome. Let's jump back and see how we can share that link to our calendar a slightly different way. All right, so I'm back here at Bookings, right? I clicked the little icon and it was in here, but I just had it open as a tab. So here I am looking at Bookings. Life is good. The first thing you may notice is my 15-minute meeting here. I changed it to public. And the way I did that was that I clicked on the 3 dots for that particular meeting style, and I just selected to make public. And the reason I did that is because now when I go and look at that same booking page that I had before, do you remember how there was just the parent-teacher conference feature or meeting type? Well, now there's 2 because they are public. So that, again, this link here, when you share it, will share a booking page with anything that's listed as public. But what if I want to make it a little bit easier for my parents and I just want to give them a link to the parent-teacher meeting? Perhaps in my newsletters, I share this one, but when it's a specific thing I want them to sign up for, I say, okay, go ahead and click this link for specifically the Marking Period 3 Parent-Teacher Conference. Well, that's where I can click the little Share button right here. It says share the meeting type. Here it is. I'm going to click this little icon here as the copy symbol for Microsoft. I could email it out from here if I want, or maybe I post it somewhere else. But let me just show you how it behaves, right? Before we saw both of these. Now, when I use that specific meeting, it only shows me that one. Right? Coincidentally, that's how I'm able to share something that's private. It's just not visible from that main page. But if I click on this link and tell it to share, notice this is a 30-minute meeting, right? I'm going to copy that link for the 30-minute meeting, right? This was the parent-teacher conference. This was the parent-teacher conference and the 15 meeting. And when I use that link up here and I paste for it, now I have access to the 30-minute meeting that I didn't have before, right? That 30-minute one, and I can see what's happening there. The little catch that I'll give you is once this is a private link, if I make it public, the same link will allow you to see it. The big link will also let you see it. And if I make it private, that initial private link will make it work. But if I were to take this public link, right, let me just show you. If I copy this and let's just say I sent it out to whoever it needs to go to, and then later on I make it private, when I use that same link that I just copied from when it was public, it's not going to let me go. It's going to say that's unavailable, right? So switching back and forth could cause the link to break is the reason I want to show you that. So I would suggest either sharing it out or, again, giving this big link right here and going from that point, having them be public. And then when you no longer want them shown there, you can just set them to be private and it will allow it to roll over as needed. Now, as a little bit of bonus, I'm going to show you again what this little email signature settings dealy bop is. When I go here, it's going to pull up your email signature, and that's great. If you don't have one, you can make one, and life is good. So here, though, is where I can include a link to my booking page in my signature. When I click on that, right, this little link pops up that when you send an email, if anyone clicks on it, it will automatically send them to this link, to the booking page link that we saw in this case was here. Right? So it works if you want, but if you're setting these up for very specific appointments, you may not need that feature on, and you may say, no, don't include a link, right? But there you go, friends. That is how you can set up events in Outlook, using Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Bookings to allow people to sign up for time slots and sign up for appointments. If you found this video helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you're more than welcome to smash that subscribe button to get notifications when content like this video is posted. As always, thanks for watching.